Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 9. So as most of us should know, or hopefully by now, Red Death will finally be coming our way in the early-ish stages of The Flash's ninth and final season, with there of course being a change up from the comics and just a change in maybe what most were expecting from Red Death in regards to mostly what's behind the mask. Of course, in the comics, Red Death is sort of like an amalgamation or combination of Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen after Bruce, as Batman, straps Barry onto the Batmobile, which is incorporated with the cosmic treadmill, some crazy stuff, which in turn, at the end of the day, makes him Red Death. But are we expecting that to be the origins of this Red Death within the Arrowverse and, well, The Flash Season 9? Well, I don't think we should go into it expecting it to be 100% accurate to the comics because just straight out of the gate, and this is obvious, we know it is not comic accurate because it's not Bruce Wayne that's going to be Red Death. And that's not me putting down Ryan Wilder, played by Javicia Leslie, who was revealed as Red Death, in being Red Death. It's just stating a fact. I'm curious to see how she plays a villain because I've never seen her do that. But as I said, the comic accuracy is straight out the window from the get-go because it's not Bruce Wayne anyway. So the origins you would expect could and maybe would just also be different. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your opinions in the comment section down below in regards to just this take on Red Death, as well as what we talk about in a second in this video, because I'm very curious to hear what you guys think and which option you want the most or which option you like the most, and I guess just which one makes the most sense to you. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts down there in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, want to show your support, you're looking forward to Red Death finally coming to The Flash in its final season, drop a like on the video to show your support. Now, we're going over some varied options as to how things might play out or might have played out in the past with this Red Death character and how we might see just play out in the present day as well on the show within the Arrowverse's canon and just how they came to be this figure known as Red Death. And we are basing this off the assumption, mainly, that the character is a multiversal character, so from another Earth, whether it's the Earth from that is in the comics, which I think is -52, or if it's just from Earth 52 or something in this new multiverse. I don't know which way they're going to go. And I'm assuming that the character is multiversal just because I think it would be one hell of a stretch to think that this is the Earth Prime Ryan Wilder, aka Batwoman, that has now gone evil and going after Barry. But then again, you never know. But yeah, for the sake of the video and what we talk about going forward, except for one thing, we are going to assume it's multiversal. But yeah, I do have four ones I think are definite possibilities, and then a fifth which I've chucked in just as like a fail-safe in case they don't want to go multiversal. But that'll be the last thing we'll talk about. So the first option is a simple thing which you've already sort of referenced, and that's the comic origin. They do go with the comic origin exactly how it is. Because if we're just assuming that Batwoman or the Batwoman or the Ryan Wilder that becomes Red Death like we're seeing in the set photos, her life is pretty similar to what we've seen happen on Earth Prime. Maybe Batman on her Earth died as well. And there was a coincidence where Kate Kane disappeared and she took over the mantle as well. Everything just played out coincidentally the same, which means she also has a Batmobile as well. So they could do the whole thing where she goes about, strapping Barry to the Batmobile, cosmic treadmill, weird tech crap, and she gets speed that way. And it's obviously with a motivation in mind. It's not an accident, it's intentional. Now, the thing with this is that I think if they did this, they might just it'd just be a lot of exposition, just said how she got it, or it'd be like a loose line. It wouldn't even be like that much of a focus. It'll just be some loose line, like maybe she's talking to herself, or she's talking to another evil character, and she just mentions it off the cuff, like, oh, building that Batmobile cosmic treadmill combo was a real pain in the ass, or something like that. But it was worth it. She says something like loose and off the cuff like that, but nothing overly expositional. But if they did do the comic origin, I don't think we'd see it, just because it just seems like such an expensive thing to show on screen for probably like less than a minute, maybe even less than 30 seconds, maybe even less than 15 seconds. So I'd be surprised if they even wanted to dip their toe into potentially doing the comic origin stuff. The second option I have is actually sort of similar to the comic origin, but different. And that's that this Ryan Wilder, or, what ends up being Batwoman, what ends up being Red Death, steals her Earth's Flash or maybe another speedster's power, but without absorbing them like we see with Red Death in the comics, or maybe even killing them. So it's just that she has tech that takes it. Maybe it's accidentally taken from the speedster and given to her, whatever it might be, but that's how she gets her speed. She takes it from another speedster, someone that has those powers, I guess you could say, naturally, and she gives them to herself in whatever means that might be. That's sort of tying that. This is probably the one where it's somewhat similar to the comic origins, but different at the same time, and probably something that you could show. And it would be sort of interesting if, like, I don't know if they'd show it, but if it was like a different speedster. So maybe it is, maybe on her Earth, I know Eobard Thawne is the Flash, or some weird crap like that, or it's some other character they can use, whether it's Wally West, maybe Jesse Quick, something like that. Maybe that's what they could go around and do. But that's an option I could definitely see them doing. But then again, if Red Death's meant to be so evil, you think Red Death would kill the speedster, but I don't know. The next option is that Red Death gets speed through a process like Barry did, but just went about things in an evil manner. So she just, conveniently got the powers. Maybe she was Batwoman at the time and there was an accident where she got hit by lightning or some sort of incident. Maybe something similar to how like Wally West and Jesse Quick got powers, and she gets speed. But there is some like negative part of her life, whether it is before she's Batwoman or during her Batwoman time. Maybe she wasn't even Batwoman at all, and she goes about things in an evil manner. Evil speedster equals Red Death. So they could do something like that, and that's something that you wouldn't even have to really show. You could just say, oh, there was an accident at the lab, I got hit with dark matter, and all of a sudden I was a speedster. It could be something, it even, that would be like this is probably the option where it makes the most sense, to just have an off-the-cuff line. We don't have to show anything. So you can just say, oh, this happened. Because I think they did that with Zoom before they did the backstory with Zoom, where you actually got to see that happen. But I think previously in that season, they just said how Zoom got his powers. And I think also the, quote-unquote fake Jay Garrick as well. So they can just mention that, and we don't all understand what they mean by that. It would be nothing new. We've had multiple characters go through that process, both off-screen and on-screen. On-screen, obviously, as I said before, Wally and Jesse. So they could do that, and it'd be an easy way to get through it all. The next option is one that I've seen a lot of people say. I've seen a lot of people say this, and there's no real proof for it on set. I think it's just maybe that this is something that people have maybe wanted to see, but we've never really had it yet on the show. And this could be that Ryan Wilder, or whoever Javicia Les is playing, maybe it's Wilder Ryan, I don't know what the character's name's going to be, but the person who is Red Death, they don't actually have speedster powers themselves, but it's the suit that gives them speed. It's the actual suit that gives them super speed. And maybe this could have been a suit that they designed because they wanted to verse a speedster on their planet or on their Earth, or they wanted to verse the Flash, whoever it might be. But it's the actual suit that gives them speed, which I think would be an interesting thing to go down. However, this makes it a bit easier for Barry to defeat them, because just be like, well, just phase them out of the suit or something like that. But then again, the suit could be speedster proof, where you can't phase through it, something like that. There could be some weird stuff that goes on there. But a lot of people think that the suit could be what gives her speed, which I don't mind. Or another option, which is sort of similar to the point where like she hasn't like properly got the powers, but it's sort of going on a day by day or hour by hour basis, and that's that she's using a serum, like a velocity type formula. But we've done that enough that I think if you're going to give it to her, like make it that she's not a natural speedster, if you want to call it, I think I'd rather that you do the suit gives her speed rather than like another velocity type thing, because we've had that happen a few times. We've seen it enough. Do something original, and I think the suit would be pretty interesting. But as I said, that gives Barry a pretty easy way to defeat her, unless he just doesn't know. He just doesn't know, and it's something that she mentions off screen when Barry's not there, or away from Barry. So we as the audience know, but Barry doesn't. So I think it'd be interesting, be different, but we'll wait and see. And the last option is the non-multiversal option, as I referenced before, and it's just something I left at the end. It's like I said fail-safe, that's not even the right term, just like as a spare. And this could be some weird plot where it actually is the Earth Prime's Ryan Wilder that we're seeing as Red Death, because we know that Rainbow Raider is in this episode as well. He can change emotions, make someone angry, make someone, excel, increase certain emotions. And he was in the set photos alongside Red Death and the Flash. So it could be some weird thing where he is influencing her emotions and causing her to go about things this way. But it's important to remember on Earth Prime, it's Batwoman. And we're not seeing an evil Batwoman on screen. This is an evil speedster. So it would be jumping through some logical hoops suspended 40 foot in the air to make that work in a way that would make any sense at all, at least to me. Maybe there is a clear and obvious way that, to make that logically work to one of you. However, to me, I'm just like, I don't even know how you reach that point. However, maybe we could see Rainbow Raider be the source of anger for this Red Death if they are multiversal, whether it's the Rainbow Raider from their Earth or the Rainbow Raider from our Earth that's trying to take advantage, whatever it might be. But outside of him just being there in some scenes for that episode that was being filmed, there is really nothing to support that or back that up. We're just going off what we're seeing in some still photos, no dialogue, that's it. But overall, I'm curious to see Red Death see how they play out. I don't think it's going to be that long of a run on the show. I have a theory as to what they're doing this season, which I'll do in another video, which includes Red Death, Zoom, even Captain Boomerang right at the beginning. And I'm very curious to hear what you guys think about that theory, so keep your eyes out for that in the next couple of days. But I'm just curious to see how they handle Red Death. I think it's only going to be like maybe a 2, maybe even just a 1 episode run. I'm not too sure how long it's going to be. But in regards to the option that I see happening the most, I could see, I think it's like maybe like this, she steals her Earth's flashes or speeds this power on her Earth. That seems like the most logical one. You just don't even have to show it. You can just mention it off the cuff. Barrack and go, well, hold on, how'd you get speed? If you were Batwoman, how'd you get speed? And she just says, oh, I stole it from someone. Easy. And she can name drop a speedster that hasn't been on the show before, whoever it might be. That's how they could go about it. I think it's pretty easy if that's the way they want to go about it. That's probably the option that I think is the most likely to happen if they're going to do anything like this. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions about all of this. Which of these options do you like the most? Do you have a completely different one that I did not mention or touch upon at all? Let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.